Thank you all for coming and thank you, Junoon. First of all, this is a chat show. It's not something that I'm going to keep talking and you guys have to keep listening to my boring technical stuff. So if anytime anybody wishes to counter a question or ask something, you're free to do. So basically, when it comes to sound designing Bollywood, a lot of people get confused. And it takes me, when they ask me about what do I do in life, it takes all of my energy to explain them I'm not a DJ. So the film design of sound is very different. I mean, imagine you get a whole video blank and you have to imagine everything, right? You have to imagine all the different sound elements that goes into making you believe that you are watching a film. हम लोग सब लोग फिल्म देखते हैं, तो फिल्म देखने के समय हम लोग को कभी ना कभी लगता है ना कि ये रियल हो रहा है, ये पल रियल है. We get dragged into the film, no matter even if you're sitting inside, and we still think, oh, this is happening for real. Now that is what is sound design. That is the true essence of sound design. So technically, we cheat you into believing it's happening for real. How? By creating spaces. Now if you're sitting in this room, there's a fan going on. In your subconscious mind is absolutely getting it, this sound. You might not hear this sound, but now you know in this space is because of the sound that's around it. So basically in sound design is what we do is try to create something real yet unreal for it to cheat your brain that's happening for real. And that's why you get drawn into the film and you think, okay, this is happening for real. This is happening for real. There's a lot of parts in sound designing. It just doesn't happen with one man. So there's a huge team of members. It's a lot of crew. There are different sectors. One sector is dubbing, in which the actor comes in and re-performs what he's done. Second is Foley. This is Foley. Anything that a human touches is Foley. If I'm picking up a glass, I'm keeping a glass there, I'm taking footsteps, that comes under Foley. The third thing is what is called a sound editor. A sound editor creates the ambient sounds. I mean, if you're watching the sea, it's a visual of a sea. So there are waves. So the sound of the waves and everything, that comes in the sound editor. And also the music is also a part of design. So what we try to do is, we try to get the emotion of the film through sound. Like example, even if it's a very rainy scene, okay, but बहुत बारिश गिर रहा है, पर एक रोमांटिक सीन चल रहा है, तो हमको रेन को भी ब्यूटीफुल डालना पड़ता है. Like we have to make the rain beautiful, so it doesn't come as noise. पर अगर वही एक सीन में एक्शन सीन है और बारिश है, तो बारिश इतना जोर से डालो कि इंटेंसिटी बढ़ जाए. So sound in terms starts reflecting on the scene. We try to narrate every scene's का emotion through sound. And the major part of it is dubbing, which the actors have to come in. They have to re-perform their own stuff, their own things. So I'll just show you something, how exactly a thing comes to us basically, how exactly a video comes to us. So this is exactly the stage at what the video comes to us, is blank. Nothing in it. And now by seeing this, we have to start, now this film is a little dark, so we cannot use chirpy birds, we cannot do anything that gives hopes, happiness, or gives you a sense of relief. And we have to imagine how this would sound, yet create something interesting enough that makes you feel that, okay, it's happening for real. So everything that basically you see has been artificially put by us to make it sound real. So this is exactly how it comes to us. Now, I'll not show you the whole length of it because it might just get boring. I will show you the same thing with sound and try to explain what all we do. This was an isolated film in which these are nomads from some places. So yes. So yeah. So basically this thing comes up to completely empty. Now we have to figure out the emotion of the scene. We have to figure out what our director wants from us. We have to figure out what the audiences will seek from it. Right from every small little detail, to every breath, to every wind sound, to every small little rustles of leafing of here and there, represent the whole sound design. Now music also becomes a part of sound design, in which we have to decide where to control, how much to put, how much level to have how much level at which we should let the audiences reach this music, you know. So there are all these different kind of small things that we have to put into, makes it a complete sound design. Most people think that, not most people, nowadays everybody is there and they know what goes around and how it functions, but they can't seem to fathom how it's approached. The first A of that is dubbing. So what we do is, the actors dub. So in this, all the breaths and everything has been recreated in the studio. So they have come again, they've done this workshop there. और उसके बाद भी वो लोग इधर आके सब अपने हल्का सब ब्रेथ्स रिकॉर्ड करते हैं. अब एक आदमी है जो इनके हर एक फुटस्टेप्स को वैसे टाइप का पत्थर लेके आएगा, वो टाइप का बड़ा मट्टी लेके आएगा, उस टाइप का लकड़ा लेके आएगा, वो पूरा लकड़ा पत्थर वत्तर सब लाके वो पूरे ह्यूमन रिकॉर्ड करते हैं. Then I will put in the wind sounds, the sounds of the birds, the rustling and all that. And all this we put together because to just make you feel that it is happening for real, to cheat your brain. This is happening for real. So sound designing on a whole is nothing more than just making you believe that this film is happening for real. Even Charlie Chaplin back then, they say it's like a silent film, but he used to have a music. The music used to represent his emotion. See a Charlie Chaplin film without a music, you might not really get the emotions. The emotions were 70, 50, 30% given by the music, you know. So sound plays a very important part, and you don't even realize how it plays an important part because you can't see it. And because we can't see it, we don't really realize how it changes perceptions, you know. Like a baby crying is always taken as a ill thing. So बच्चा रोते ही सबको cringe होता है अंदर. So sound plays a very important part in making you feel the film, you know, because you can't see it. A lot of feelings which you think is coming from visuals is actually coming from sound. Like if you don't hear the winds, the trees, you know, you will not feel this happening for real. Like कुछ तो गड़बड़ है, कुछ तो अलग है, कुछ तो रह गया, you know. So any questions regarding anything? Please.
Do you have any cue for what happened while the video was being recorded? I mean, for example, the footsteps and all.
Yeah.
I mean, I can see that it's easy if you see the foot.
Yeah.
But when you don't see the foot, in fact, this time, because I was paying attention to a blank video, and I could see that in some places, maybe the footstep was maybe not exactly in the right place, because, I mean, that just feels, I mean, why do you make it yourself so hard for... Why do you make it so hard for yourself to recreate that? I mean, isn't there a cue which you can record at the scene?
See, now what you're talking about is the sync sound. Now this is currently come in recently. In dialogues also there are two kind of dialogues. One is dubbing, which used to exist in the late 90s heavily because of comedy films. Because the era of Govinda and you know these actors, Johnny Lever and all that, made comic in the dub. So they would make these certain voices and make this happen. Now we have something called a sync sound right now, in which we grab the dialogues on the location itself. So a film like all Hollywood films definitely do sync sound, you know. Lagan was the first film to do sync sound. In whatever dialogue that you're hearing was recorded on the set. Dil Chahta Hai was one of the films to follow, which was the first pioneers of sync sound. But before that, everything was dubbed. Now we really can't get all these sounds over there, because what you're shooting there with the crew and what the design is might be very different. There you might have a complete crew people talking, whispering, you know, trying to get the set done. Probably if you don't, sometimes you shoot in Mumbai, but you don't want to make it feel like Mumbai. You want to cheat it for Kolkata, or you want to cheat it for even abroad. Then what? So getting all those things sound over there is absolutely not practical and not feasible also. For that you need like a tons and tons of gear, and maybe you will not use also. So you have to, no matter what, recreate it back again. Plus second thing, there are multiple people with multiple footsteps. So how do you grab all of them together? You just can't put a single mic and expect it to get all of it together. So you, no matter what you do, you have to recreate it. Because even though the place may give a different kind of ambience, but your film may not want that kind of ambience, you know. And it's very unheard of. The only thing that we get is dialogues on location. So a lot of films today, they don't do dubbing. We try to get dialogues on location, like a film we did Sairat. Now we did Sairat, and those kids were absolutely first timers. So we knew that we had to do sync sound. If we don't grab these dialogues over here, they will not be able to come and perform, because these are not actors. These are real people performing. So in that basis, we have to get their dialogues on location. But then that's another different ball game, complete ball game. But all the dubbing is actually a very Indian or probably Asian phenomena, that it is so high, so you know, so much we do dubbing over here is also because of a lot of comedy films. In comedy films, they try to make this tone, like, you know, they try to make this voice. Like if you, example, Akshay Kumar's comedy film, he'll always have a different kind of a voice. He'll talk in a different manner. Now all these things cannot be done on the set. Like Govinda is the biggest example. Like he would just create magic on the dubs. Like magic. His performance on set, and then you see him on the dub, you would be magical. Would be like, what have you done? You know, what have you taken the scene to where? Johnny Lever, everybody. They created magic on the post. There's like, whatever is on the set, it's okay. So whatever acting that you would see of them is also a lot of voice acting that they did. We never realize that, because we see it linearly as one. But if exactly जो set पे किया हुआ है वो exactly डाल दे, तो कभी कभी मज़ा नहीं आता. फिर उसमें लोग और कॉमेडी करते हैं और टोन बनाते हैं. जॉनी लीवर अपने एक अलग वॉइस देगा, अलग और अपने हरकतें करेगा. All these things enhances the thing. But as when you watch it, you will not feel it. You will feel it. He's done it there, because that's how cool these people are. That's how amazing these actors do. So again, getting to sync sound. So sync sound is basically nowadays a lot of films are getting sync sound. Sync sound is when we are trying to get the dialogues on location, so the actor doesn't have to come back and do double mehnat. Because dubbing is a very difficult process. I mean, चलो आज मैं और आप बात कर रहे हैं, आज मेरे सामने एक्टर एक्टिंग कर रहे हैं, तो हम लोग एक्टिंग कर लिया. बट अभी मैं आपको एक रूम के अंदर डाल रहा हूँ, एसी रूम के अंदर, आपको एक स्क्रीन को देख के बात करना है, एक्टिंग करना है, वो भी आपको लिप मैच करना है. जो बोला है वो भी आउट नहीं जा सकते हो, जो लिप बोला है वही लिप मैच करना है आपको. प्लस इमोशंस. अभी व्हेन यू आर एक्टिंग विद एन को एक्टर, योर इमोशंस कम आउट. नाउ यू हैव टू डिराइव दिस इमोशंस ऑन योर ओन. सो डबिंग इज अ ब्रिलियंट another art form, brilliant other art form that a lot of people don't know. A lot of people make films in dubs. Like if you see there what has been shot and it's come, and what's later on what they did post dubs, it's shocking. Like I would not like to name anybody, but a lot of actresses, they did not dub their first 4-5 films. They were dubbed by some other person, because the other person would just create magic on their faces. That's why today in a national award category they have mentioned that even if you have acted, you have to have your voice in it. So a lot of actresses' careers have been made because of good other dubbing actors. They have come in, they have really enhanced it on the same acting.
You're saying not all of the actors we see in Bollywood dub their own voices.
A lot of them, at least in their starting point of their lives, they have not dubbed.
But now currently, the current crop of artists.
Current crop of artists also. Actors also might be. Dubbing is something which is not that you come in the room and you'll do it. Dubbing is thrice difficult than acting.
That's what I'm saying. So
yeah.
a lot of them do it.
Yeah, a lot of them still do it. I mean a lot of them. Literally.
It seems so much harder than acting.
It is so much harder than acting. It is.
You can't have the same pace as what you
No. Yeah. And you will not even realize in dubbing how does things change. I mean, your acting goes in a different level. Now, I've seen actors who have done very bad job on set, and then there's this brilliant dubbing engineer the dubbing artist that comes in and just gives magic. Just does magic on the same expression, same eyes, same everything, 5 different emotions. And I know of actors and actresses where dubbing artists have made their career. Like if you go back and if you see, like a lot of actors used to not dub for their good 5, 6, 7 films, Understandably, nowadays most of them are from not of Indian origin, but not of an Indian accent, like somebody's from UK. So you'll have to need someone with a Saaf Hindi to, dub them. Otherwise they all sound like Britishers, all British Hindi. Getting it? So for them, and the main magic of that is people don't realize it. So they are doing a good job. They are doing a good job, and they are absolutely making a lot of people actors' life simpler plus better. But eventually all these actors do learn, because dubbing is a very important part of it, and having your own voice is an important part, especially when you start getting famous.
Did they get paid separately for
Did they get paid separately for
dubbing their own voice?
Earlier, 5, 7 years back, there was no contracted like that. Now they have started contracting it like that. Not most of them, some of them is because of the reason that now that when you have a element such as sync sound, which is when you can grab my dialogues on location, why do you want me to do the mehnat double?
There it's fine, but where they have to come back the second time and do their dialogue, they will not stick with it. Sometimes, not every time. I mean, and nowadays most of the actors really like sync sound, because it's even tasking for actors to come and re-perform some things, There are some things there are some old scenes and stuff which I know of some films, like legendary actors have denied dubbing. They said, no, I cannot do this again. I cannot recreate this again, So they have used the same exact what they have done on set, try to clean it up and, use it somehow. But yeah, now sometimes they do charge, but not all of them. And it's getting quite shifted from dubbing to getting dialogues on location. So, and also dubbing as a art form is also getting a little killed because of this. Because nobody is practicing dubbing. Nobody thinks dubbing as an important part of acting anymore. The important part of acting today has become your facial expression and your looks, This is one of those art forms when even if you ask any senior actor,
they will respect it. Mr. Anil Kapoor, he does magic at dubs. So we had done this Ad Labs Imagica with him. So he had acted in Mr. India. So Ad Labs Imagica has a ride called Mr. India. It's an animation ride in Ad Labs Imagica. This guy is so phenomenally good. He recreated his old voice which he did in Mr. India for that show. And that is immense talent. I mean, he came in and he told me then that when he was doing Mr. India, he would actually wear the get-up of the whole Mr. India to get the feel, But that man being so good at what he does, he could get his voice back even after the grains and all, and he sounded phenomenal, like absolutely the same, So, and these people have made films in dub. I mean, you see them and they'll improve their performances like up and up and up. They just keep doing better. It's very sad because that process is also very important for audiences to see how much effort do these actors take, to dub and, get these things happen. Then now because of technology, it's fairly simple. Earlier it was more difficult. Now it's all digital age, so it gets a little simpler. The yesterday actors, Baba, they were some legend at what they did, genuinely. So coming back to your question, yes, sometimes they do charge. So, again, a very important part is people don't realize is the job of a Foley artist, So imagine your video is going on, okay, and there's this guy who is standing. So this guy has to absolutely time and walk with the actor. So it's going on there and he's walking with the actor. Suddenly he has to pick up something, he'll pick up something. Suddenly he'll keep something, Plus also making sure that he doesn't disturb anything, doesn't kick the mic. And they do brilliant jobs. I mean, if you don't have if you walk and if you don't hear the sound of somebody walking, you will not believe that's happening for real, Plus we have to also see the texture. So if you're walking on wood, I cannot put stone. Your mind will automatically switch off and say something wrong. You won't realize, but your mind will say something wrong. So we have to also be real, yet unreal. It's completely playing with the subconscious of your mind, completely playing that, okay, it's happening for real, it's happening for real. But the magic about that is we are trying to get real sound using unreal mediums, So it is a very beautiful thing. So Foley artist is something which I very highly respect in the field of sound because they are not just doing work, they are also doing physical work, which is also creative, So sound design is also a balance between creative yet technical, So putting a wind sound is technical, but feeling what kind of wind I need to put for scene. Like you cannot put a nice breezy blowing wind for every scene, You can't just you don't have a performer. Every film comes with its own sound design requirements. It comes with its own thing. So there's no list A, 1, 2, 3, 4 that we can follow. Okay, there are guidelines, but every film has every challenges. Like an action scene is so enhanced with sound. It's so enhanced with sound. Like it's almost it's like triple impact. If you just watch it like that, and then you watch it with the sound, it's completely different. I'll show you something. So this being a musical film, we had to create a sound which was also musical and yet rhythmic and which could make into a sound, a song basically. So this had come to us like this, and the brief was basically a musical sound design was the brief over here. Now I'll show you the effects that has been added to this, and then I'll show you the final thing. Okay. Now, the first one was absolutely blank the way it came. The second one, I had to find a rhythm. I had to make a beat out of it. I have to make a beat of it to make it musical. Now, the mix, the entire mix of the whole thing. Okay. You never realize there's so much sound work that goes into making something, right? Yeah. Any questions? Right. How do I do this? Thank you. So there's a lot of people's hard work, a lot of people's thing goes in the sound team to make one small clip happen or one small space happen. And what else? What else? What else?
Has there been any film in Indian cinema? I'm trying to recollect myself, like the iconic sound of from Hitchcock's movie Psycho, the shower scene.
where he didn't want to show the actual killing, but it's just the woman's body, I mean the silhouette, what is it? You can just see her showering, and then there is that sound, that ting, ting, ting sound, and then later you just see blood going down the drain hole. So much so that when I was watching some documentary on Hitchcock's films, some people were saying every time they hear that sound, they think there's going to be a murder that's going to happen. Without actually showing, there was no actual scene of a murder taking place. It was just the sound, the water, and then the blood going down the drain. Can you think of any similar sound that has triggered something, such a strong recall in Indian cinema, where the visuals are, where the sound has almost taken over the visuals, or has done the job that the visuals were meant to do?
No. In Indian cinema, basically that part is played by music. So that part of sound design is being played by music. So we have music in this case to represent that kind of a signature kind of a sound. That's why even in Indian cinema we have called signature music, like a signature sound, like villain aayega to uska ek sound hai. So that thing is recently now coming in. Sound was always being kept as a entity because the audiences don't really understand sound. I mean, half of the critics will not even mention. We know when we have done a bad job when the critic says nothing about us. So if the critic says nothing about the film, we know we have done a good job. When the critic says, oh, sound had some problem, that's how we know, oh, it's a bad job. So by them not mentioning about us is something like, okay, we have done good job. So 90% of the critics will next time just open up a paper and see, if you just go through it, there will not be a sound review. There will not be anything mentioning about the sound. It is 50% of the film, but there is no mentions. Audiences are not, audiences just see sound as if it should be there. I have not seen any audiences come out, normal audiences come out and say that the film sounded bad. They might just say the film sounded loud. But as an audience, you don't know which is a good sounding film or a bad sounding film. For us, गाड़ी पास हुआ, गाड़ी का sound है, ठीक है. पानी आवाज आया, पानी का sound है, ठीक है. You don't really understand distortions, levels, what is for your ear a good mix and all. Most of the times we are a very loud country, so our mixes are getting very loud. We talk loudly. So Indians are generally loud people. So that respect of sound design is now starting to come in. Now audiences are starting to understand. Filmmakers are starting to understand. But in the yesterday era, it was carpet to carpet music. Sound was only a tool to just to be there. Like I said, just so that people don't feel discomforted that, oh, why is this empty? So you have to write scripts for sound. You have to write scripts thinking of sound. You have to write. Now it's coming. Now a lot of directors, now a lot of filmmakers are keenly giving importance to sound and sound design. They're keeping spaces, pockets for designing. They're editing their films in such a way that sound design plays an important role. But yet again, to be very honest, music still has an upper hand, no matter what. Nobody will hear a gunshot and come and say, Abhishek, what a gunshot. Even though it's been done countless times. No audiences will come and say, Ki, wow, this film's dialogue sounded very beautiful, very nice to the ears. Yeah. So our audiences have not come to that level to even appreciate is not the wrong word, because it's the lack of communication between the critics or something. The first thing is when your critics itself, they don't mention half the time how is the film sounding. How will the audiences get to know? The whole focus of the film is on the actors, the music, and the visuals. Switch off. Next time when you're watching a film, just switch it off. Switch off the volume and watch it. Just try to get that experience, and then you will realize what feelings that you're getting out of the scene, what emotions that you're getting out of the scene is voice. And what is voice? It's sound. But still, again, coming back to the question, yes, now people are definitely looking for a good sound design. They are definitely creating pockets. They are writing, I've been recently getting involved in script from the earlier stage, where they're including me, they want to sit down with me, they want to talk. If I have any sound cuts in my head, can we play a signature sound? Can we do something with that? Now it's slowly coming up, because I think because of other worldly cinema coming in, we have to get a game up. And that game up is always sound. If you see any film in the West, I'm not comparing because the cultures are different. So Hollywood में जो चलता है वो Hollywood में चलता है, वो Bollywood में apply नहीं कर सकते आप. It's cultures, there's no debate here who is better, who is not, because it's just filmmaking at the end. They have a very huge respect for sound. I mean, their music, their respect for sound is basically they write films for sound. So until unless you will not write a film for sound, you will not be able to achieve that or get to that. But considering also the era of filmmaking that we had gone through, we always had comedy. We always had comedy. And for sound design, you need films like action, thriller, because a romantic film में मैं कितना sound design करूँगा? It's a dialogue heavy film. Your emotions actors से होने वाला है. मैं कोई ऐसा ब्रीज डाल दिया कि उससे सुन के प्यार नहीं आने वाला है किसको, कि वाह क्या प्यार आ गया करके, नहीं होने वाला है वो. तो ours is a very actor oriented also, na audiences. We go in the theater not for the director. We go in the theater for the actor. Nobody says, अरे इस director का film में इसलिए जा रहा हूँ. It's always say इस actor का film है. So until and unless and I have now no fight with the actors, because we all are same fraternity, but the audiences don't really see sound as sound. है तो ठीक है, मतलब वैसा है. अगर मिस हो गया तो प्रॉब्लम है. अगेन कि ऑडियो गया तब प्रॉब्लम होता है. ऑडियो है तो उसका अप्रिसिएशन इतना नहीं है, which is again why to expecting from audience when the critics are still not there. So audience से तो expect बाद में करूँगा जब critics लिखना चालू करे. You just go back home and open a paper today and see. You just open up a paper and see. You will have everything mentioned. Music was good, direction was good, cinematography was okay, this was good, that was good, and then we just say, oh, sound nahi likha, very good. So that is how it goes. Yes, sir.
You said before that for the same expression, there can be 5 different emotions.
Yes.
Can you explain that?
So basically, there are voice actors which will have same face. Okay, they'll have the same face, the same intensity, but the way they perform, and with intonations, they can give 5 different emotions. So if I look at you and say, क्या कर रहा है तू? The same face, क्या कर रहा है तू? And the same face, क्या कर रहा है तू? So you can, and this is very rare, huh? Like Mr. Nasuddin Shah is a maestro at it. I mean, I think he's a brilliant voice actor. I mean, if you be at his sessions, and if you see what magic was, what he has done there, and what he can do here, it's poles apart. I mean, it's poles apart. These actors can just have the same face and give you so many variations of things with intonations that it's just a playing tool for them, But this you will not realize until you've not been in that session. Okay, how much magic do these people create? Like animation voices. I do sometimes record for animation voices. So we have to go that low. I have to talk like this. Or make this voice tone like this. So these are again the traits of business. Voice actings. So, and very few actors can do that, honestly. Like, these are voice actors. Like, they emote so much from voice that all the emotions you receive from the way they talk, the way their pitches are, the way their intonations are. And Nasuddin Shah definitely is one of them. Amitabh Bachchan sir, definitely.
You might want to add about Sankalp Bhosle, the guy who dubs for Deadpool first and Pirates of Caribbean. So he's very fantastic dubbing artist. And see Deadpool 2, which Ranveer Singh has done. It's personally I feel it's very pathetic. But the one he has dubbed, it's so brilliant. Like you can feel ki Deadpool is talking in Hindi. So, and one more is there with Bahubali, this guy Sharad Kelkar.
I have done Bahubali.
So yeah, please explain that.
I've been a part of Bahubali.
So Hindi one.
Sharad Kelkar, na? I have been part of Bahubali. Brilliant actor, brilliant voice actor. I mean, Bahubali was one of those challenges in which we had, everybody knew it's a South Indian film. So, पहले 5 minutes में I wanted people to switch off from the fact that it's a South Indian film. So, dubbing there was very critical, and a lot of people have come up and told, like they have said to me that it didn't sound like a South Indian film, you know. Whereas some have still come and told me it still sounded South Indian, which I'm okay with. But majority of them said it didn't sound like South Indian. Now it was a very big challenge for me because your actors are listening to a southern language. Their way of talking is southern. Unka lehrana is southern. Okay. So we had to completely break that and completely give our own style, you know, which was very taxing for the actors also, you know, because what you hear is what you do. You hear like a South Indian tone, you tend to, you know, go there, you know. So all these voice actors did a marvelous job of dubbing. And did you think it sounded like a South Indian film? No, na? Most of them didn't think, I think so. Most of them, they really liked it. Even it was well appreciated by the fraternity also. But Sharad is a very good artist. He's very good. He does a lot of Disney films. Sharad does a lot of Disney films. He's done Moana, and he is a fantastic voice actor. He's a fantastic voice actor. Brilliant voice. Brilliant. He's got grains and bass as close to Mr. Bachchan sir. You know, he's got that amount of, like, you know, bass and body to it. Yet he can also modulate it. He can also, he's phenomenal. He's a very good actor. He's a very good actor.
For example, is it a born skill or is it the one skill is developed?
Developed, sir. It's definitely developed. It's definitely developed. I mean, yesteryear actors still, when they come to dub, they will say, Dada Samal lena. But this is a skill that needs to be learned like acting, you know, and which is right now getting a little dying, because I'm seeing that the newer generation don't really focus on it. Again, because you have sync sound, which we can record. We can now take your dialogues on the location itself where you are. But then again, it is something that comes with like years and years of practice and doing it. It's an art form that you never can say I've learned it. You know, you just keep getting improved. Like an actor keeps improving. Like an actor keeps improving, all these other skills keep improving, you know. His dubbing skills improving, but it's magic what some people do. Like on the set and what they record later on, it's absolutely magic. I mean, you will not believe that, okay, this level of dubbing and everything, they've taken it, you know. I mean, Prabhas was like, he saw Sharad, he's like, oh, dude, like he's done awesome. Like, how do you match up to this? You know, so some of these actors, they just, like, if Sharad would have not been dubbing for Prabhas, probably today the liking of Prabhas would have gone down. That much impact dubbing does for an actor, you know. You liked the whole Kattappa because he played Kattappa. You know, that was Samay Thakkar, Mr. Samay Thakkar. So because of him, because of his performance, you now like Kattappa. So basically you like Samay. So now when you're liking Prabhas, you basically like Sharad Kelkar. So these actors, this is the magic of dub, what they do. This is the magic of dub an actor can get into, and a film can just go from here to here, you know. A lot of new age first timers, 90% of first timers don't dub their own film. 90%, including male. See, everybody doesn't have a good bass voice. जिसकी आवाज़ पतली है, मोटी है, पर हमारे दिमाग में हीरो का एक आवाज़ सेट है कि हीरो का टोन ऐसा होना चाहिए. You know, now in the younger lot, I don't even realize किसका voice अलग है. Pehle, there was identity, like Sri Devi used to have an identity voice, you know. Now everything sounds similar to me. Because it's come to a stylization where a female actor or a male actor is accepted to talk in that way, you know. Like, अगर लड़का लंबा है, गोरा actor है, he needs to have bass and grains. कुछ भी हो जाए. अगर वो नहीं है, तो audience reject करेगा बेचारे को. Audiences is also not open to anybody with good voice, any voices ना. Audiences के दिमाग में भी है, अच्छा दिखता लड़का, पतला आवाज़ निकलना नहीं मांगते. bass आया, superb actor है. So even as audiences, like today Nawazuddin sir, he has struggled like crazy. He struggled like crazy because now that the things are changing. Now people have stopped hating good-looking people. Like हो गया बाबा, good look हो गया, अभी real लेके आओ. You know, हम देख के थक गए, अभी real लेके आओ. So अभी things are changing. Otherwise, if today also, I mean, you're no actor who is not good-looking gets accepted by the audiences. Getting it? So that when actor में इतना struggle है तो sound पे किधर आओगे आप लोग? Getting it? We have not broken our whole myth about people and reality. See, Sairat worked, you know why? The Sairat worked mainly of the reason कि boss ये मेरे जैसा है. You have an identity कि this guy is like me, this one is like me, you know. Or I was like that, you know. So because of that thing, it feels more real, you know. But yeah, like I said, things are now definitely changing and people are much more people are accepting new talents a lot right now, you know, raw talent, new talent, they're accepting it, which is good to see, which is really good to see.
Amazon has Alexa, or Apple has Siri, there is no emotion in it. Maybe you can help them to at least communicate better with us.
On that case, if I think Alexa or Siri has emotions, half of the people will end up spending time with them only. So it's a good thing that they don't have emotion. Yes. Yeah. Sorry.
I have basically two questions.
Yes.
First is, what considerations come into play when you carry sound over cuts, and I presume you sit a lot with the editor of the film?
Not really. I mean, the editor is busy doing his job and editing the film again and again and giving it to me. I am busy doing my job. So basically, we don't have any conversations as such. We have to think. Now, assumingly, I'll give an example. Now, if in the next shot, there's going to be a train pass. And in this shot, I've said a line and I'm just looking at that actor and there's a 2-second pause. What I'll do is introduce that sound before. Bleed it or patch it. Now that is again a part of sound designing, is how do we stitch scenes? How do we stitch from one scene to another scene without even breaking the flow? Now that is a very core part of sound designing. Now we are bridging scenes so that you don't feel discontinued. You feel, oh, it's a part of it. So that is a very integral part of sound designing, is how do we bridge between two scenes? How do we stitch scenes, you know? How do we bridge between a heavy rainfall scene to cut to something silent, you know? Rather take the rainfall so loud and then create a vacuum, oh, impact, you know? This is, again, like, good question, because this is one of the most important part of sound designing, is bridging scenes, you know, making it linear and making you not lose any single frame. Keeping you engaged, you know, keeping you engaged in the film, fully making you feel belief, oh, it's happening for real. Oh, it's happening for real. Until you see the end credits and you get up, you know. So a good sounding film is a film which has engaged you, plus you should not come out with ear fatigue. Like, you should not come out like, dukh raha hai re kaan, you know. That is a very big problem, because nowadays we are just blasting on this, we are blasting our mixes. Our mixes are getting louder.
Overproduced.
Huh?
Overproduction.
Overproduction. Well, I mean, that's also a very big loudness war happening right now. It's like a film is said to sound good if it's only loud, you know. So your dialogues are here, your effects are here, your music is here. There's no space for a human ear to rest. We are bombarding. And also because Indians are genuinely loud people. You know, we are loud. We talk. I mean, Hindi itself is a one sur upar ka language. When I'm talking in English, I can talk like this. जैसे मैं हिंदी बोलूँगा मेरा एक सुर ऊपर बढ़ता है, क्योंकि हिंदी अगर मैं ऐसे बात करूँ तो रूड लगता है या गुंडा लगता है.
And another is, the second one was about how would you approach a documentary project, sound design for the documentary? See,
there are 3 different types of styles for design. One is fully commercial, in which we are using a lot of design, you know, a lot of design to probably exaggerate it, When it's like an action scene or an action sequence, we exaggerate sound. It's not really like a punch. If I really punch somebody over here, you might not hear anything. But when it comes to film, I have to use it for cinematic. I cannot keep it raw. Now for documentary, it's completely reversal. Absolutely raw. So what is there has to be put and to the right medium. It doesn't need anything. So in film, it becomes a mix of real and unreal sounds. But in documentary, it's absolutely real. It's absolutely real. मतलब उधर जो sound है, उतना ही. उसको फिर not necessarily just put a lot of sound design and something. Keep it simple. In documentaries, absolutely keep it simple. Approach is more or less the same, because here also the treatment is different, but approach is more or less the same, and that doesn't change much. But yeah, documentary is raw. Now a lot of people don't understand when they say raw sound doesn't mean kadak. Raw sound means if we are talking here, this is exactly, अभी दो पंखे का आवाज़ है तो दो पंखे का आवाज़ ही आना चाहिए. फिर मैं उधर पीछे गाड़ी का आवाज़ डालूँ नहीं, उधर से आज़ान डालूँ नहीं बीच में, हर एक दो मिनट में. It's absolutely what's happening real. That is raw. What was there has been put is raw. The other, what we do is, you can call it commercial sound designing if you want to name it, but it depends. It depends upon the film. Like you have an action film and you really can't go raw. Like you really can't have the real sound. If it's a full 3-man punching scene, you really can't keep it like real. Even in Hollywood, even in the West or the cinema, it's exaggerated. The punches are all exaggerated. The difference is the mixing. The difference is because we are loud, so everything becomes louder. The mixes become louder. So that is one war which we are trying to battle. But for that, the main thing is the audiences needs to know which is a good sounding film, really. Something which is loud is not good always. Like CD came in. A CD's dynamic range is not good for your ears. When is the last time you remember listening to a whole CD? Like full CD? No one. Why? You used to listen to tapes, right? आगे पीछे, right? CD क्यों नहीं सुनते हो? क्या हो गया? CD ने कुछ पाप किया क्या? No. It's out of your dynamic range. It's out of your ear dynamic range. Your ears start saying fatigued. Your ears start saying, boss, I don't want to listen to this. It's not your brain. So sometimes, that's why the cassettes are coming in back again. The tape and everything. So again, that's to do with the sound design also. So sound design is generally just not putting an array of sounds. It's not just filling it with a lot of sounds. It also has to be to the right frame. Just because you have a train which is going on, that doesn't mean you can blast something. It also has to be accepted organically, and should not hurt your ears. It should not bleed you when you come out of the mixing room or when you come out of the film theater. The sound design is, it has a lot of aspects to it. Like it has mix of technical, creative, and more than, and also what do you call this? And also people's effort. Like even if a man, when he's walking there with his shoes, he has a human touch to it. That human touch is felt. When I pick up a glass and I keep it and that happens, so there's also human touch going on when designing the thing. So it's all not really machines. Machines are just there to, it's a system. But the real design comes from what the man thinks of the scene or the scenario. So yeah. Shoot.
Good evening. Yeah, so my question is more Hindi film oriented. So as you might have noticed that all the Hindi movies, be it DDLJ, Kabhi Khushi Kabhi Gum, they have this classic theme music, right?
Yes.
Which pops up now and time and again to enhance the emotions.
Yes.
But sometimes as an audience, I feel that they are overdoing it, right?
Yes.
Unnecessarily, the background music keeps on playing,
Yes.
that same tune keeps on playing.
Yes.
So my question is, do you, as a sound artist, do you also feel that this time, like, background music is interfering with your work? And is there a difference of opinion? And what is the situation like? And who has the last say?
The solution is to act better. First of all, this has been used, this tool has been, the music has been used as a tool to give you, to inform you emotions. ये romantic scene है. ये इधर दुख का scene है. So, if your actors have done a good job, If actors have really done a good job and with their acting skills they've got that emotions out on the screen, then you don't need these helps. Then you don't need music. Now when does music come in? Why do they do that? Is when they think that the scene has not been good enough. The scene is not giving me that emotional content. So now what to do? Let's add a sad music. So a sad music with that acting will still give out more emotions. I'm telling you, if you see a film blank on the stage where there is no music and all, half of them will not even see it. Even though the best film, I'm telling you. When it comes to us, the way it comes to without music and just the dialogues, 70% of people will not even see the whole thing till the end, when it's blank. So again, what you're saying is also that probably the director must have felt that it's not good enough. Let me put a theme music, or probably if he likes it also. It's a very personal, creative call, You can't really say, but according to me, yes, we do overuse it. We do overuse it.
Has it ever happened that you might think, okay, it is interfering with my own lyrics? And you said that there's raw, sometimes sometimes you feel as an artist that we don't need more background music here. So do you?
A lot of time we have felt. As a fraternity we have felt. Not just me, as a fraternity. A lot of times what happens is we do an action scene, okay. And we have done a very good action scene with all this car pass and everything. And suddenly in the final mix, a music comes in. Orchestral. Full orchestral. And then it will take over all the design. A small little ambiences like a beautiful azan has been put, which is symbolic, what we thought was symbolic. With just a music bed will come over it and kill it, all of it, But then it's a very creative call, this one. This is a director based call. What does he want? But over the years, it's not that we have not fought for it, excuse me. But yeah, this phenomena keeps happening. Again, because audiences love music. Audiences have, see, if you ask me, most of them, like I said, the second most famous man is a musician in a film industry. Music singers, after actors, even more than the director, I think musicians are famous. And because of audiences loving them more, they tend to misuse this. And most of the time it's to cover up faults. Most of the time. Because your actor has not induced emotions enough with the rainfall, even if it's the rainfall, it's an empty room and I have to talk to another and I have to be romantic about it. But when I'm acting, I'm not getting the feeling of it. Now how do I give you the feeling? I cannot put a bird that will induce a feeling. I cannot put a sound of a room to induce that feeling. The only way he can represently tell you that this is an emotional scene and you need to cry is through music. So here music is actually the actor who's emoting for you, Plus then these people definitely will dub and try to make it better, try to make it more emote. But sometimes you just need music to make you feel that, oh, it's an emotional scene, oh, it's a love scene, oh, it's a this scene, Music is a very big part of our filmmaking. You tell me hardly there are films without no music. Hardly there are films. And the moment the films which have no music will be considered arty. So if you don't have music in a film, it's considered arty. Arty type film hai, music nahi hai. But it's not that music nahi to arty ho jata hai. It's what we are used to. We are used to films with a lot of music. We are used to, now they've still reduced songs. They have come up to the thing that, Baba, hamara songs are for promotions, will not include every song. Because it's not flowing for the film anything. But other than that, music is a very integrated part of our filmmaking. It's a very important part of our filmmaking. Suddenly the music will come in and it will just not overpower our work, but probably just, dilute it, kind of stuff.
I want to ask, how different is it working on a musical film like Jagga Jasusi? So as a sequence. So here, even the Foley becomes a part of the music.
Yeah.
So how is it different from other films working on it?
It is a very good question. It's absolutely different. Now in a musical film, what happens is, the sound design is sound design, right? But normally we don't, in a musical film like Jagga Jasoos, every sound is a beat. I'll show you an example after this for the question that you asked. Every sound is a beat. Now, my sound, I have to start thinking like a musician as well now. Plus, गाने का एक सुर है, म्यूजिक का एक सुर है, तो मेरे को मेरे हर साउंड सैम्पल्स को वो सुर पे लेके जाना है, ताकि जब वो बज रहा है आपको समझ में नहीं आए कि गाना है कि म्यूजिक है कि एफेक्ट्स है. It is just come as harmony, as just one thing. So each time we used to ask in Jagga Jasoos, it was reversal. We used to ask for the music, then we used to design. So we had to even a dog barking to the sound of a car had to be tuned in the sur of the BGM or the music. If I don't do that, it will create disparity. It will create as if effects अलग बज रहा है, music अलग बज रहा है, कुछ तो नहीं हो, कुछ गड़बड़ है करके. So yes, in this Jagga, it was damn difficult. Difficult in the sense, more than difficult, I think it was the best opportunity given for a sound guy. And the beautiful part of it is nobody realized what was music and what was sound, which I think was a great news for me. The moment I thought I'm a winner there. If people didn't realize which is music, which is sound, what else do I want in life? So the same way I'll give an example, like the example which you asked one better. So this is just only the music file. The challenge here was now being musical, and now I have a wind clock tower basically. Clock tower का जो घड़ी है इतना बड़ा घड़ी है, mechanisms है. Now I had to match, now to make something which even sounds relative to each other, basically jam with each other. So we came up with this. I'm just playing you the portion what we did and then the final thing. Now this independently sounds weird. Now let's play the whole sequence.
Miss Mala Moitro was not only loved by the students and faculty alike, but also an inspiration to all. हमारे English department और culture club की heart and soul थी.
Suicide नहीं.
She'll be truly missed by all of us.
जगह वाला मर्डर है. जगह वाला मर्डर है. जगह वाला मर्डर है. वाला मर्डर है. जगह वाला मर्डर है. मर्डर है.
तू बोल रहा है मर्डर, ऐसे कैसे मर्डर?
So I had to use the bats as singing, mouse squeaking, and everything had to be same pitch, because musical is Surya. If I had not followed that, then it would not come as harmony. So again, in this, they couldn't realize which was music, which was sound, because it had a beat. But it yet sounded like a clock. So I couldn't take it away from the real nature of making it completely like a drum or something. So I had to keep elements that it is a clock tower, yet it is in sync with the music, but yet not disturbing the audiences ki dekho, design dekho. Sound design is not ki baba maine gunshot dala to itna jor se suna to ki samne wala dekho. It's not that. It's right to the frame. Audio design has to be to the frame, not more, not less. Right to the frame. So I hope this solves your query which was asking, right? Yeah. So this was an interesting film to do. It was a very interesting film to do. Most of the first half is in a beep. So there, Anurag Basu, Dada, has shot this film on a metronome because it had to be musical, And it was actually one of the, for me as a designer, for us, it was brilliant. I mean, you don't get to do these stuff. Regularly, it's like, it's a regular film. You don't get to do this stuff so much, And it was very well ahead thought of in terms of sound, Everything is in sync. You're having sync musical. You're making a song out of Foley. You're making a sound out of glasses, thali, tap dancing, claps, steam, door knocks and everything. It's very futuristic thought. That's why a lot of people couldn't digest Jagga Jasoos, I think, because it was a little ahead, and also because you couldn't. I mean, it's a personal opinion, but for me as a designer, I think it was a very beautiful experience working, because we don't get to do these stuff, and which I got to do. But it was good fun. It was good fun. Tell me.
Just a quick clarification. You had said earlier about tapes versus CD. I mean, you're more generally talking about analog versus digital, right? I mean, CD, MP3, do you make a distinction there? I was just wanted to clarify.
No, it's MP3, it was the most...
I mean, digital, I mean, just...
Dynamic range. Yeah. Digital has opened the dynamic range so above than a ear to even take. That's why we have ear fatigues. A tape would have a limited dynamic range. And because of that dynamic range, what used to happen is to flip it again, because your ears used to not reject, saying that I am tired. But with CD and this digital age coming in, it's like you're just blasting it off, probably, And which is not really like the dynamic range of the CD is so high that you don't need that dynamic range. MP3 is the most horrible version that we could ever come with in life. Trust me. I mean, musician ने 15 लाख के गेयर पे रिकॉर्ड किया हुआ है. उधर स्टूडियो में 2 करोड़ का इक्विपमेंट डाल के उसको पूरा क्रंच करके you have made it a decoder of 0 and 1. It is not music. It is informations of 0 and 1. It's binary information given to you. It's not even a part of music. I mean, it's just there because it's 3.5 MB. A Ghana. And you want a 15 GB space and you want to fill everything. I mean, audio or wave file is far more superior. Your brain is not even getting information. What happens in an MP3 is just, it'll take one frequency of all the frequencies and keep it there. So basically, you're not even listening to the full range of the song. You're just listening to what to tell you now.
Well, I mean, it's supposed to do it because we don't necessarily differentiate those nuances on an average. I mean, of course, it's heavily compressed.
Exactly, but then again, your brain is rejecting. That's why music is dying. Technically, when is the last time has anybody sat and heard properly music? I mean, it's become a transit thing. Music was never a transit. It used to be a hobby. It used to be a thing. Now it's become a transitional thing. मैं इधर से जा रहा हूँ उधर music सुन रहा हूँ. Music has not been sat and heard now. It's used as a tool. कि मेरे पास कोई बात करने को नहीं है तो मैं म्यूजिक डाल के चलने जाता हूँ. मेरे को जिम करना है तो मेरे को पंपिंग म्यूजिक चाहिए. But that is also because we have stopped getting that feelings. We don't get goosebumps from music anymore. We don't get goosebumps from music anymore. Why? Because you're not even listening to the whole frequencies. Again, I'll tell you, go back to the tape. You will love it. You will flip it. You will flip it again. You will hear it 10 times. Still your ear will say, wow, beautiful, thank you. I can't listen to a CD. I'm a sound guy. I can't listen to a whole CD. And it's not because of it's the medium, just because it's digital doesn't has to be good. Technology has to be used in a very responsibly way, So no matter how much advance of all that we have, we still have to have ethics and small little things, knowledge and things like that, But yeah, now people want more sizes and keep more things. Be it. Have your MP3s. What to tell you?
So Abhishek, I had a question about that MP3. So you were saying that MP3, obviously MP3 is lowest version is available. But have you heard 8D tunes on MP3 format?
Which one?
8D tunes. So
8D. 8D.
Yeah.
Tunes.
8D tunes.
Okay.
On MP3. So it has a dynamic range like 8 point, for example, that 5.1 or 9.1 ka mix jo hai. So you listen that in sort of 3D
No. What you're saying is something very different.
Yeah. So
8D.
I'm trying to understand.
Your 8D is that, na? Yeah. No, that is basically what you're saying is binaural recordings. Binaural recording is basically when we have a micro. That can be only experienced through headphones. You're talking about the barber shop. Have you heard of the thing called barber shop? 80 okay. So, but basically that's binaural recordings. Now, how does binaural recording work is, normally we have a mic here, like I have it here. Now, we have now come up to the situation like if you are doing a VR video. So, if you're doing VR, so now you'll have the visual here, right? Now, how to get the audio here also? So, now we have something called a binaural recording in which literally we have a आदमी का सर और उसके कान में हम लोग कैप्सूल डालते हैं, mic. And we use that and we record stuff. Now, when you will wear a headphone and after that when you record, which we were talking about, the 8D, you just don't get one aspect. Now, when I'm recording here, you're only getting this direction, right? Now, with this recording, the microphones absolutely hears what your ear needs to hear in that space. So, that is kind of a 3D, but in audio, you cannot have a 3D because there are multiple dimensions going on. Fully. But again, see, MP3, even though how much ever you justify to me, I'm not getting sold on it. It's like you have 4K camera और तुम mobile पे देख रहे हो trailer. Nowadays we are mixing for mobiles. Because the audiences doesn't even want to plug in the jack and listen to your trailer. So हम लोग इतना पूरा बड़ा स्टूडियो में काम करते हैं, एंड में बोलते हैं वो मोबाइल पे टेस्ट कर ले बाबा, क्योंकि 90% तो उधर ही देखने वाले हैं. And then because of that mobile version, we have to pump up the music. कितना बेचारा इतना छोटा सा गरीब स्पीकर है, दो, वो क्या निकालेगा ऑडियो उसमें से? कितना निकालेगा ऑडियो? तो हम लोग पंप करते रहते हैं, फ्रीक्वेंसी बढ़ाते रहते हैं, हाइस बढ़ाते रहते हैं. The moment then somebody puts on his headphones, he will think, "Arey, what is wrong with these people?" He will not say bad mix. He will not say bad mix. He will say मजा नहीं आया. But he will not even understand that उसको मजा नहीं आया because it's sharp and high. So he will not even understand why he's not liking the audio. But he will say something is wrong. वो volume कम कर देगा. But technically इतना बड़ा स्टूडियो वूडियो उनके बाद में हम लोग का एंड में एक मोबाइल का जो लैपटॉप है, the mobile laptop speakers, we are testing on that. The final mixes, like last time, tell me who put, किसने ट्रेलर के टाइम पे religiously headphone निकाल के plug करके कान में डाल के सुना है? Anyone? There you go.
You're specifically talking about trailers.
Sir, half the films are watched on mobile nowadays. So, I mean, your 5.1 and all that is different. Some phones are mono. No, I think we'll have a 5.1 phone right now. That's the only way we can think about it. Dolby should come with a 5.1 phone. उसके साथ एक आदमी भी रखना चाहिए उसको बजाने के लिए. Our audio department is like our perception of films and viewing films. See, what I mean to say is, you are losing on half the experience. You're not realizing that you're missing on a lot of experiences. And that's why film viewing, and you watch a film like a film in a theater, it is different. It is different. The feeling that you come out with is different. You cannot, there's no bargaining or negotiating with it. This is it. So yeah, sadly we are mixing for mobiles these days, but hopefully things will change.
Yeah.
Hi Abhishek sir.
Yeah. No sir, please. Abhishek is cool. Bolo.
Chetan here. So what would be your advice to short film makers, primarily who are doing short films, which is eventually a stepping stone to get into features? So what would be your advice? Primarily, it happens low budget, micro budget, or sometimes zero budget films as well. So what would be your advice to them as in terms of sound design, creating sounds? Because most of the times if you do a short film, I'm a short film maker, you either pull up stock sounds to fit into your narrative. So what would be your advice to them in terms of, and secondly, you have been in the industries for such a long time and doing big projects. So are you approachable when it comes to short film?
Definitely.
Have anybody approached you for short?
The thing about sound people is we are not superstars. We are as human as you are. We are as approachable as you are. Probably as struggling as you are. So we are technical people, are not actors. Okay. So understand this fact. First of all, most of the time short film makers think that these people are not approachable. Most of the time we do short films for free if we like the content. Because even we want to push, like Mr. Nagaraj Manjule's first short film, we did it. I have to mention Nimish Chheda was my sound designer, who sadly passed away, and we did a lot of good films with him, and his short film we did it first. Then Fandry happened, again a short budget film. Sairat happened, decent budget. It is very much approachable. The first thing that you make a mistake about that is if you're a first time filmmaker, get your HODs right. Get your HODs strong. Get a sound guy who is experienced enough. Don't be shy. The advice that I would really give is, as a short filmmaker, learn these gears. I mean, you can learn this one. It's in an H6 zoom. I'm sure a lot of people use this. But in sound, you're as good as your gear. If you have a 5D or a 4K, it is going to show difference. So your microphones makes a lot of difference. But they are very approachable, man. Trust me, all of them. You make a next time a short film, call me up. I'll give you my number.
Thank you.
Because we also help a lot of people, right? Not helping in the terms you're doing any favors. Good films, we also want them to reach. We also want good films to reach internationally, because internationally now if you don't have a 5.1 mix, they don't accept your film. So so their first international standard that they have in abroad, if your film is not sounding good, we will not select your film. The first criteria, if you go and see, they say that your film should be, the film should sound professional is the word. And professional means they want a 5.1, they want these things. So half the time people think I've shot my film, मैंने इतना अच्छा film बनाया, उसने नहीं लिया. अरे तुम घर पे बैठ के डिज़ाइन किया उसका. वो आदमी तुम घर पे बैठ के डिज़ाइन कर रहा है, वो आदमी तेरा फिल्म थिएटर पे देख रहा है उधर. तुम्हारे डायलॉग के पीछे उसको पीछे का बाइक आवाज आ रहा है उसमें, जो तुमको घर के हेडफोन पे नहीं सुनाई देगा. Our approach towards sound has become something like that the cameras have got improving. Your cameras keep improving, 4K, 5K, and sound is heard and felt. There's a limitation for it. You cannot, I cannot probably just punch mara to हवे से punch graphics से नहीं दिखा सकता मैं sound waves में, that is not possible. But the perception that ये हो जाएगा, ये चल जाएगा, अरे मैं घर से कर लूँगा, वो ये जाके फेस्टिवल वाला बोलते हैं क्या amateur काम किया, sound amateur है, let's not take it. So they get disheartened. So a lot of time we have done is we've seen the project and they've said, sir, Abhishek, bro, dude, whatever, nahi hai budget, baba. Can you do it? I'm like, dude, you shell out this much just for the Foley. I will do the design and give it to you. Don't worry. We'll mix it also. And a lot of films that we do. I would not use the word pro bono because it makes them weaker. But we try to, push good filmmakers, because even we need good directors coming out, Sometimes even we get bored of doing the same thing again and again, Kitna comedy mein kya karu main design? What kind of rainfalls that I can do to get that done, So don't worry. And always to budding filmmakers, if I give an advice is, if you are new, get your HODs right. Don't get into the ego. Technicians, definitely. They will teach you. They will help you. They will guide you. They'll make your film better. In that process, you learn 10,000 stuff. Just because you're new, don't think that I cannot approach this person is because wo bada hai ki experience thi ki kya. Nahi. Technical but there's nothing. And every film is film, man, you know. Short, long, regional, anything. That's why I genuinely don't want, I have never used the word Bollywood, I use Hindi film industry because I've done Malayalam film. I do Kannada films, I do Marathi films, you know. So it's, and you cannot grade it like, अरे Marathi film में budget कम है, sound कम डालो. ऐसा folder तो नहीं है. You know, ऐसा folder तो है नहीं. ये भी folder नहीं कि बाबा अरे Bollywood film में काम करो और 20 GB का sound डाल दो इसमें. जबकि खाली बैठा आदमी. Film is film. It has to be delivered, you know. It has to be delivered no matter what it is. Short, long, here, there, anywhere. It has to be the best sounding up to your capabilities. You know, so that is something which is new. Yeah, in terms of understanding, yeah, you should get a hands-on experience like a recorder, like a Zoom recorder, so that most of the sounds that you are trying to get there, you can later on use in the film. So that it saves the budget of your dubbing and everything. Get your dialogues on location, so that it saves you on the post. But something like a design, you should not salvage. You know, it directly experience cut by 30-35% of the film. You know, a good Foley a real Foley is so amazing, is because Foleys and everything make you feel that it's happening for real. You know, that drawing is sound, the drawing is not visuals. Yeah, visuals is a very huge part. Trust me, it is. In today's age, it's almost 60-65% of that, you know, visuals. Because with your VFX and everything coming in, the rest 35% is still audio. And we love it, because we hit you and you don't even realize we have hit you. And we go back, you know. We give you that experience, you experienced it like horror movie. You remove sound out of a horror film, you will end up laughing. You'll end up laughing, you know. You might get scared a couple of times, but horror is absolutely played on sound. Absolutely, that all the elements of thrill and everything, the silences, the breathing, it's absolutely sound. So it's, I know what we do as a fraternity, you know. And the beauty is you don't even realize it. So that makes me happy actually, to fool people and drawing to feel that, you know, it's happening for real, it's happening for real. It's sound. It's not your visual so much. It is a combination of both, I would say. I will never say कि मैं अकेला sound design play करूँगा, visual नहीं तो कोई super hit होएगा. ऐसा भी नहीं है. It's a combination. But yeah, audiences don't realize that how much sound is impacting their film. And a good sound design film is always one up than an okay sound design film. And again, in sound design, it doesn't mean that a lot of sounds to the frame, to the feel of the film, nor more nor less. And call me.
Yeah, sir. Like we were seeing so many movies of this era, the sound that we saw. A movie that came in my mind was a movie that released 60 years ago, Pyasa, Guru Dutt's movie. So for me, I think sound played a very important part in that movie. Obviously, acting and content was the thing in that movie. So I just want to know, what was the process in that era, 50s and 60s, when they used to make movies? And how did they record that iconic sounds?
I mean, that was the first advent of design, you know.
Yeah.
And surprisingly, everything was mono back then, you know. And right now, we have a lot of technology to create, but they did everything raw. Everything was recorded there. Getting it? Everything had to be recorded live, which the West follows till date. Every film, they record everything. Right from your cars to your F-16s to every small little click of a gun and everything. That era, musicians used to also come together, practice for 3 to 4 days. All they should do it live recording, you know. And all that live recording used to just go in one feed, because we only had one channel, which is mono. So that era, it was unbelievably difficult. Like I am sitting right now here and thinking, marrying everything. But yeah, again, I mean, in terms of sound design, just to have sound that time was a very big thing. getting it. And just because of that, they kept it everything real.
So basically a sound like this also they have to record.
Everything. Everything. You know, everything they had to record, everything. And that time though they had, right now though we have that liberty na, of performing. That time they had to perform it live. I mean, you miss it, you're gone. So that's why you will see some of the footsteps are missing, because they had tapes. And you cannot use the tapes again and again and again and again, you know. Actors and all used to practice so much because it used to be tapes. You know, it used to be a loop of your scene coming back. If you miss your line, you have to wait till it again comes back. And there are tapes given, like there are spools given. Spools, how do you put spools? You know the tapes, spools, big can of things. Nagara, no, not Nagara. Nagara ka spools hota na. In spools, there used to be dedicated spools. Ki baba 3 spool mein film khatam karna hai tumko. Actors, matlab, udhar used to be really amazing. They used to get like, not scared. That's why all these old actors, you see them dub, you'll go crazy. You see them, what magic they do, you'll go crazy. It's like, dude, what were you doing there and what are you doing here? It's like 2 different worlds, but yet it's syncing, and it's awesome. It's an art, man. It's an art. And a lot of people just take it as a word, are dubbing karenge. Stand in front of the mic in that room. मुंह से आवाज निकलता नहीं है, you know. Dialogue सब दूर का बात है, you know. It's a complete different art form. But then that time also they were very organic. Huh? I mean, those era people were organic and much disciplined and much more respected towards sound. Even the audiences used to love sound back then. You know. Like, I remember this, there's a DD का एक series था, Bomkesh Bakshi. Rajat. It was sync sound. They didn't dub. So sync sound came before dubbing. It was sync sound. So they had to use, I mean, they used complete sync sound. You would always see the boom coming in the frame in that, Bomkesh Bakshi. Like a boom, shadow, every time. But they had respect for sound. It's like, and dubbing wasn't there. Dubbing came because of comedy films. Now, on the set with so much people, how much comedy do I do with my voice? You know? So, and that era came, like Govinda would make certain tone, you know? All these things couldn't be captured there. You know, that had to be recreated, re-performed, even better performed. So, because of comedy, this whole dubbing industry came in. You know, and also because of budgets. It gets cheaper to dub than have a whole crew waiting for your dialogues and all that. So relatively, when you're going on set to do a dialogue on location, it's much more expensive than dubbing. You know, because you need more crew, you need more gear, you need at least 5-7 people, you know, to get that one dialogue. Here you need 1 engineer, 1 room, 1 dialogue. It's also because of money constraints that dubbing happened. But then, that time, it was much difficult because now you have 5 speakers, 6 speakers, 20 speakers to show your sound design. They just had 1 mono speaker. So dialogue bhi usme tha, music bhi usme tha, effects bhi usme tha, foley bhi sab usme tha. And one needed to create that intensity which we are trying to derive by 5-6. So their job was madness, what they have done. Can't really fathom. I can sit here and just imagine what that era must have been. But they were super pro, man. Super pro. Today, technology has made it very easier for us. Yes, darling.
One quick question. You know, when I was thinking of Sairat, and I have always been fond of Sairat for the only reason that the first half is very different and the second half is very different. Okay. Now, I'm very happy today that I really have a reason to say that maybe sound makes a major impact in the film. Can you just talk about what happens when the director comes to you and he says the first half is this and the second half is this? How do you approach it, or any analog method maybe, how discussions go on, what happens?
See, mostly discussions, to be honest, even honestly speaking, if I'm being very brutally honest, we don't have such a big discussions on sound. We genuinely don't have such big discussions on sound. We do have, but it's more to do with what's the feel of the film. The feel of the film drives the design. So as I said, if it's a rom-com, I have to make things a little chirpy, probably, you know, good things. Now it's a dark film. Again, use sounds which represent darkness, thunders, things like that, you know. The process is fairly simple. The director will come in, but we still, even though what the brief may not be, we go by the feel of the scene. We go by the emotion of the scene. What is the actor giving us the emotion to us? What is this scene require, you know? Like I just told, like, if it's a romantic scene, even if it's heavy raining, we cannot put heavy rain. Because in that white noise, if it's a romantic line will come, you will not get that feeling. So even if the rain is super heavy, I have to mellow it, you know, sweeten it, you know, to just make it sound, oh wow, beautiful. So when you hear the rain, you should not feel, ew. You should feel, oh nice. So that is absolutely the emotion of the scene. Absolutely, you know. Now, if it's a happy scene, I cannot put a dog whining. मैं तुमसे प्यार नहीं चलेगा. You know. So either I have to put something like probably, you know, coo, coo. So these things play a lot of how we think, but it's absolutely to the emotion of the scene. It's absolutely to the emotion of the scene, you know, nothing beyond that. So we are driven by the emotion of the actors, emotion of the scene, and also the brief from the director. But we do have but it's a very non-communicative thing. Like I cannot explain you how is the sound of this scene gonna be until I show it to you, because this sound cannot be seen.
What becomes a common line for you guys to start
Yes,
the discussion?
yes. The screenplay, the story, the whole zest of the film also. I mean, if I know it's a dark film, if I know it's a horror film, then my point becomes, okay, design is dark. You know, so also as a whole, you know, as a whole, what is your genre? You know, that also makes a very important thing. Your genre makes it also very important. But absolutely, to be honest, it's the emotion of the scene. It's the emotion of the scene and nothing more.
Do we have any more questions for him?
Yeah, so I have a little bit technical question. So sync sound equipment we use, so did we get like multiple tracks of multiple things?
Yes, yes. No. It's multiple tracks. Now this one that you have is a multiple track recorder itself. Yeah. It's a multiple, I think, 6 channel, it's 6, na? 6 channel recorder. The highest that we have gone right now, it's 12 channels.
So you will get 12 separate
yes,
tracks?
12 separate tracks of 12 different artists. So basically, if there are 4 actors, the 4 will be given single mics. All individual channel will be one actor. Plus over that, we'll have 2 people with boom. So the boom is trying to capture everything there. Not the surrounding, basically the reverb of the space. Okay. Because the microphone over here cannot capture the reverb so very well, because by the time it reflects and come back, it's too close to me. But a boom mic will catch the space. Like if you've seen the movie La La Land, La Miserables. Les Miserables. Yeah. The actor was mic'd, 7 per actor was mic'd. Like 7 microphones, 1 actor. They always had an in-ear music playing for the musician. And they have used no post. They have chose their spaces. So if it's in a big hall, they have used the natural reverb of this hall. Now this hall will have a natural reverb. So they didn't did anything in the post. They tried to get all those things right. So in the VFX and all, they had to like remove microphones. But they were so, because this has a focus here. When I'm singing, if I look there, what will happen? Go out focus. So they were like mic completely. But again, coming back to your sing sound equipment, yes, we have now 12 channels. And if we require more, we double up the recorders. So 12, 24. And individual artist, individual channel.
No, so my question is from a mixing perspective. Like, of course, actors ka sara separate wo mil gaya. But the ambience and like other things like background mein jo hai, so that I was trying to understand. Like you are going to put follies and all to mix all,
yes,
or like,
and plus we do cleaning.
Cleaning.
Yes, there's something process called dialogue cleaning. in which we isolate the noise and we clean it.
Okay.
So now we clean the dialogues. Like initially we used to dub to get it, in dub we get it clean. Now if you have a distant, now if you have recording here we might not get cars, but if somewhere I'll have a very faint behind car ka rumble. So now we have to clean these dialogues. Now we clean all of these dialogues, which is again a very technical process called pre-mixing.
Pre-mixing.
Yes, pre-mixing is basically cleaning the dialogues. Your Foley also, which is recorded from the studio, we cannot directly put it on the film. How will a tap sound here? It will have the room reverb. So now with every Foley, we have to also start putting it how it would sound in a space. So when you're talking in a washroom, we have to add that kind of a reverb or reflections to make you believe it's happening in a bathroom. Same thing with your Foleys as well. So if this was a cave, this would have been more reverberating right now. So again, after getting it from the artist, we cannot just directly put it on the film. We have to treat them now. We have to treat them for their spaces. If it's an outdoor, how will the shoes sound when it's walking outdoor? How will a dialogue sound when it's walking outdoor? Cut to he's coming to a room, cut to he's coming to kitchen, cut to he's going into the basement. You know, your voice will change, your sound will change. And this is where design comes in. This is where smoothness of design comes in. Like if you do these things aesthetically right, you won't feel that something is off. Now when we don't do this, is something is off. Getting it? So it's not just we are dealing with raw files, it's also the spaces in where you are. You know, so we have to also emulate the spaces again now with that. So yeah.
Thank you so much, Abhishek. Thank you, Bishakha Datta, for curating this lovely session.
Thank you so much for being here. I like to mention my co-sound designer, Shijit Melvin Hutton. He's always been an integral part of my working system, and Nimish Cheda was my mentor, who sadly passed away, and they've been the guiding factors for me to be here today. So I really like to mention these two people. My course designer is busy meeting up with deadlines so that I can be here. So yeah, Shijin, cheers. Thank you.